Hello, everyone. This is Akemi, and
This is Dawna, and welcome to our weekly Facebook Live show about bringing spirituality into life.
woohoo,
So,
I
on
love
this
it.
show, yes, we get to answer your questions. We love to answer them live. Leave your comment. And if you're just clicking on, share your name in the chat, where you're from. We'd like to shout out and say hello to you.
Yes. So, by the way, I am here in Japan,
And I'm here in Montana.
right? Yeah. How is the weather there?
It has been unseasonably warm. So it's in the mid 40s Fahrenheit. And today, one of these days, I should probably know which day it was, but it's been raining. It was today
Oh,
because I started the fireplace. I started the wood burning stove this morning pretty early, and it's been raining because of all the cold, the humidity, and the dampness. Normally, we have snow. I
oh
feel like
wow.
I was in Portland earlier today, but we've had
Mhm.
lots of rain here. Probably snow in the mountains, but I'd like some snow down here too.
That'll be nice. Well, we
Yeah.
actually had snow yesterday and the day before.
Wow.
Everything was white for a while, but the sun melted everything away. So today we have just sunshine. Well, it is 12:38 p.m. right now, so it's during the day here. Yes. So you had some interesting and some exciting things going on this week, right?
I do. As you can tell, my screen is a little bit different. Normally, you guys get to see me in my office with my bookcase and all my fun stuff on it. And now you guys are in my living room. And I'm really in my office, but it's my living room that's behind you. I've been doing some camera work and learning some different things, some different features. I've been on some different shows and having to do some different presentations. When you do that,
Mhm.
you have to have a green screen. You have to have some sort of set behind you when you're doing virtual camera work. So I've been learning all about that, how that works. I'm still in my production clothes earlier today when I was delivering a couple of presentations. And so it's been fun. It's been fascinating. It's been fast. It's been furious. It's been life changing because what I get to do is share things like what we do here, but in different forums as well. So it's been a lot of fun.
Awesome. I've been listening to a couple of them. I wanted to join one of them, but somehow no emails were responded. So I thought, you know what? I'll just be so happy just talking to
Oh
you today.
no.
I know. I'm like, I missed your big day, but
Oh no.
maybe next time. And
So
but
maybe
anyway,
it got recorded and I can borrow it.
ooh, that's
Yeah.
awesome. But maybe we can actually kind of. I wanted to hear how you manage all of that, like how you keep your intentions, how you keep you going. That's one of my questions for you today.
Wow. The first thing that I did was last September, I wrote out a business intention through the Akashic Records. And I have a friend who's an amazing reader, a great business associate. And he sat down with me and we wrote it out. And then from there, I made the decision. I was just done with mediocrity. And then I got introduced to a couple of people and just started interconnecting and networking my way through. How do I keep up? I'm not sure. I do have a couple people that help me, and there's a couple of assistants that kind of keep things flowing for me on a day-to-day basis, especially with social media. But there are things I throw at them all the time, and then there's things that I post, cross-post, and share. So that piece gets taken care of. And today, this week, I'm sitting down going, I need someone to manage a schedule for me because I'm getting behind in some of my normal daily activities that I don't normally get behind in. And it's on days like this where I've been on all day, long day events, several days in a row.
Mhm.
Some of the other pieces I have to find time to pick up. The other side is making sure I schedule appropriate time off for me. So I take a day off in the middle of the week and I take a day off on the weekend. And then my other weekend day is a catch-up day for me for some of the things and activities that I have to do. But it all flows, it all manages, it all comes together. It's about staying connected to the universal creator, following the guidance that you hear all the time, but also at the same time staying very grounded, very thought-oriented, process-oriented. And one of the things I do is I have to look the day before to see what's on my schedule before I go to bed to make sure I have everything ready and that I'm prepped beforehand. And so I'm usually a day or two ahead before I'm actually doing the activity. Then the activity comes out. And by the time it comes out, I'm already doing next week's activities. So you just get into a flow and then there's a balance with it.
Well, I'm sure our audience, there's a lot of people who are working in the spiritual world, community, business. And you just kind of mentioned one word that actually caught my ear was being grounded.
Yes.
Yes. And then I know there is different ways of grounding yourself or different interpretations of being grounded. And some people don't really see what it really truly means or how you do it because of how everything is. I don't want to say it this way, but the spiritual world is kind of fluffy, away from all the problems. You kind of get floaty, but it's been a challenge for many people right now because of the situation and their daily practice that they could have stayed that way just now needs to be focused on some way. So how do you stay grounded and what does grounding mean to you?
For me, I don't like to anchor my personal energy into the earth because then I don't feel as expansive at times, but I do anchor energy to the earth and connect to everything all around and through the earth, through the universe. And so what I do is I just use that universal love force energy, the creator, the universal creator, and allow that energy to expand through me. And I allow that to go through the earth while I maintain for me. But grounding is not just that. It's making sure I take short little breaks in between. I get up, I walk, I go outside. I do those types of activities as well. But I think there's a deeper sense with it in addition. And for me, that's more about making sure that I'm still in humbleness, I'm still in awe, I still have humility, that I remind myself of my purpose and that I'm here to serve and to help others and to become, the gifts and the talents, but to create the world a better place for everyone. And for me, it's about those qualities, reminding myself that I'm here to not only do what I do, but bring as many people as I can with me, share in that, elevate them, promote them, talk about them, because they'll do the same back for me. But it's having that humbleness in it. And that is how I truly stay level-headed, I hope, I believe, because it's that intention of having your heart in a good place, that you're here to serve humanity.
Having your heart in the good place. That's a good definition for being grounded, right? So Dawna and I, Akemi, is now talking about how to bring spirituality into life. And right now we're talking about how to be grounded or ground ourselves while we do our spiritual business, spiritual work. And any questions you have, we're open to answer your questions. So please feel free to write in our comments. Okay. And so in my other group, when I work with my team, right now we're talking about past, present, and future because we have a timeline going on every single moment in our life, right? So when we focus on the time, we kind of forget. We have to remind ourselves that we're here right now sometimes, right?
The present moment.
Yeah, and when we start getting busy or caught up with all the things that are happening around in the world, the groundedness grounded part of us
Mm-hmm.
kind of flies away and brings us into la la land or into fear land or whatever land we want to talk about with that heavy, heavy kind of energy. So what do you do for your daily life when you keep that energy flowing?
Mm-hmm.
We kind
Like
of
my,
heard about grounding. Yeah.
like my personal practices, or
Yeah. Personal practices, like what we can do daily. I mean,
Mhm.
it might not be the same for everybody else, but
Right.
we can share.
I'm going to just share what I've been doing. And I've always done this as a routine. After I get up in the morning and I get going, one of the things that I do is I meditate, but I'm meditating with a cup of coffee. And this is something that a Buddhist monk taught me. And I remember when I met him, I was at the Lightworkers Conference in Chicago, and I was so excited. And he comes over to where I'm at, and I'm waiting for like all of this amazing wisdom. And he says to me, in the morning when you make your coffee, don't drink it right away. Sit down and meditate. Just hold your cup of coffee and meditate. And I said, but my coffee will be cold by the time I'm done. And he goes, exactly. And then if I were you, I would switch to organic coffee. And he walked away. So I got up the next morning, made the coffee, sat down, meditated. And what I learned was it was about setting the intention for the day, allowing your thoughts in the morning just to go and to dissipate. And when I was done, yes, my coffee was cold, and I tend to drink my coffee cold anymore because I sit there so long holding it. So I do that meditation in the morning. What I do at night is I make sure, outside of setting my routine in the schedule for what I need to do the next day, I usually make sure I cleanse off. That's usually a shower or a bath or something of that nature, where you again go in, relax your mind thoughts. And then throughout the day, I always constantly check in with myself, make sure that I have happiness on the inside, that I'm making decisions that are going to bring happiness, not only for me, but for others. And then if I need to get out and move, I'll go walk up the hill and back down. I might need to lay down and do a 15-minute meditation where I just allow my mind to relax and unfold of the day's events. I set a timer to do that so I don't fall asleep in the middle of the day. But I'm constantly taking these little 5 and 10-minute clips, especially when I have an incredibly busy day. So that's what I do on a routine basis. That's pretty systematic for me. And I've done it for so long, I don't think about it too much anymore. It just happens because it's embodied in a part of my routine.
Mm.
What are some ways and some things that you do that?
Me?
Yes. What do you do?
Well, you know that I have 5 children and I have a mom and a dad living with me, and then I have a husband. I have a pretty busy house going on, but I still need some time for myself, and I go to my office and I do classes and sessions, but in between I call it breaks.
Mm-hmm.
But really they aren't like the breaks that you think a break is. I'm more likely like look at the sky and just kind of calm myself, my brain. And I kind of detach from all the things that I do for the whole day and focus on what's happening in the now. And what I truly love to do right now, and I think some of my Facebook friends have been seeing me taking walks in the morning with my son. I bring my son to school. On the way back, I really take the time to look around and see what's going on, but not really like what's going on the news. It's more like what's going on in the natural nature / real world. So for me, I actually take time to reset my mind by just looking at whatever is in front of me and really realize that I'm here. Like I am the moment of I am is a way for me to kind of keep my intentions straight forward, not winding or anything. And then by the time I'm done, I know when I'm done because it's like I start looking for the things that I do next.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like a moment or two, maybe
Yes.
3 minutes, just very short.
Mm-hmm. I think that's also a really good way to stay grounded and focused while relaxing the mind and resetting. Because when you take those short little breaks, yes, you have an end to whatever activity that was. You take the break, you get to start and refresh anew to the next thing that you're doing or the next activity that you have scheduled. But in that in between time, it's coming back to who you are, the present moment. That's part of staying in that humbleness, the awe and the wonder around the world, looking at the sky, because you bring those good qualities in and those good virtues, and it just allows that to magnify. And you're doing the things that bring you happiness in the between time.
Exactly. Yeah, well, I have 2 dogs, and one of my dogs is pretty much getting ready to go back home to the light. So this morning I was sitting by my dog, and really doesn't eat on its own anymore, so I was feeding my dog, but just watching her tongue coming in and out of her mouth just gave me that moment of having that connection, which made that moment really rich. I didn't really think like I'm taking care of something. It was more like that connection moment. So you're right. It's not really something that we do specially. It's actually kind of a moment of life. And I think that's really a way to bring spirituality into life. And a lot of people may not notice that they're doing it, but once they do, if they focus on the moment that they are, things are going to start shifting.
Yes.
Right.
And absolutely. I remember the first time I remember taking some time for myself. And at the time, this was many years ago, there was 5 children in the house, and they would have these interactions in the kitchen and the dining room. And I would get so frustrated. And then after a while, I realized I was the only one frustrated. So instead of talking to them, I put myself in a timeout. And I would go and I would sit in my closet because they always found you in the bathroom. So in the closet, and I would just sit and be and allow myself to dissipate the energy, relax the mind. I would meditate. I would connect to the universal energy. And over time, pretty soon, the interactions would stop in front of me and this didn't happen anymore. But I still would sneak off to my closet just to have time to myself for those 10 or 15 minutes because it was actually really refreshing. And then I started writing, I started journaling, and I started doing other things. And then it just grew from there. And I've just embodied it ever since.
Yeah, so a lot of people think that they have to kind of set everything in the right place to do this, or to kind of have a right room to do this. But truly, I mean, many people who are watching this, I know after I go through the whole day, rewatch this, and I kind of see how we're connected and everything. But I can see a lot of people are very busy right now.
Yes.
And that busyness is catching up. And the moment, like many moms have their kids at home. Some people don't even go to the office. They're stuck at home.
Yes.
Yes. I have a couple of friends that haven't even stepped out of their house for a month and a half right now.
Oh my goodness.
I know. Isn't that's kind of amazing. They can't even go shopping.
Wow.
So they have everything ordered online, and someone brings them their food and everything, their needs. But this person has a very great way to kind of manage with that. Is she has a small balcony. It's very small. It's like maybe that small, like, just that how, like, you can fit yourself out there. And she stands there and reaches her hand out and say, I'm here, I'm having fun. And she connects to the world, and she says that she kind of imagines that she's connected to everything, But
Mhm.
by the time she does that, she kind of have that moment of resetting her mind. She goes back into her room, starts taking care of the little kids that she has with her, and she manages the day. But she says that in the beginning, she didn't realize that she had a connection to the world. But after a couple of weeks, she found her window and her little balcony, and she said, I did have a way. So now their kids take turns and go and stand there. Yeah, now the birds come and play. I mean, there
Oh
were
my
no
goodness.
pets around them, but now they have birds. Now they have cats. So I guess it's a matter of how you see and how you manage and how you send out your energy out. And
Absolutely.
I know now they feed the birds.
I
And
was
I thought,
gonna say, they should get some bird seed. I would start dropping it off in there.
yeah. Well,
It's
they
truly
can't
amazing.
get bird seed, so now they kind of save like the tomato seeds and all the seeds that they have in the food,
Oh,
and that's their happiness for now. They are having fun.
that's their
Um,
silver lining. That's their
yeah,
gift.
their gift.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
I remember once when my two children were incredibly little, and they might have been, gosh, 6 and 2.
Mm.
And in the morning, they would get up, they would get ready, and then they would turn on the TV before school. And I had a rule about not having TV on before school. And they liked to sneak. And then pretty soon they would fight and argue about what
Mm,
channel they were going to watch. There
of
was
course.
another TV in a different room, but they didn't want to be in separate rooms. So they would rather have that interaction. And
Hmm.
I remember the day that I turned it off and they weren't allowed to watch TV at all. And I'm not a
Mm.
big TV watcher at all myself, so I can live day to day without a television. And I remember after that happened, it took them about 2 or 3 days. Pretty soon, they realized that it was spring, and these little tiny sugar ants would come into the house. And then after a while, they were playing together and they were playing with the ants that were coming into the house looking for food because the ground thawed and it wasn't frozen anymore and they were waking up. And that's what they did every single morning was play with these little tiny sugar ants. And it was a lot of fun to watch and it opened up their eyes to the wonder in the nature.
Yeah. Exactly. Nature does bring us back to where we are.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
It connects us to that oneness and to that energy and to realize we're actually all a part of it. And then it
Hmm.
starts opening up your eyes to other things.
Yeah. Well, in Japan, we have a little trend. I don't know if it's like a big trend yet, but a lot of people are actually having little plants in their house so that they can,
Mhm.
kind of get some things out from it and eat it, then grow them again.
Mhm.
A lot of people I see, like they're trying to sprout an avocado, which is a challenge.
That's the challenge.
Yes, but they share the pictures. But now they have an avocado tree. It's growing. It's like, whoops, that height. They started
Wow.
in March. Yeah, they succeeded. They said that they went through like 12 avocados to just get one sprouted, but
Wow.
that's pretty cool. But that's how the kids communicated. They love to watch it. They love the challenge. If they can grow one, they actually competed. And sometimes, when we go into the spiritual world, people kind of say that it's wrong to compete in a way,
Mhm.
especially in Japan, because we're so competing with our grades and everything all the time. So they want to kind of step away from it. But it is a way to learn and it teaches you a lot.
Mhm.
But it's not that you're trying to step on someone or you're trying to make them look bad. It's just a way for the kids to grow and to learn and to know. So I can imagine that your kids, they wanted to stay together, but they, you
Mhm.
know, fought with the TV channels. But that's how they grow and learn. And
Yeah.
it's good that they wanted to stay in one room. Yeah. So I had some what do you call them? Those little seeds, not the chia seeds, but there's other seeds that they grow
Mhm.
really quick. Um, I had broccoli sprouts, and I had it on a little tray, and my kids kind of try to put names on them
Oh,
and watch them grow. But they lost the names. They forgot what the names were. So yeah, but that's the older kids. The older kids love that, because they couldn't go to school, so they had some activities at home. Yeah. So we can bring a lot of things into life, and
mhm,
I'm just wondering if we can start sharing things, how we can enrich our life by just staying home, or if we at this time. So next week, I was kind of wondering if we can start kind of sharing about how, like great ideas that people can kind of get inspired and share. Yeah, maybe from the kids.
yes,
If everybody can share what they have as little ideas that they do at home, that,
absolutely.
for them to really be focused on their life and not being taken and carried away with things that are happening around, but still have a great way to stay healthy and strong.
Mhm.
Yeah, I had a little YouTube channel that I watched that was it was an exercise channel that a little Japanese lady does. I loved it, and I did it during the last, how do you call that? It's not a pandemic. How do we call when a lot of people get the virus and they start, not a lockdown either in Japan. I don't even know how to
No,
call
I don't
it.
know.
We call it jishuku because we can't be locked down. So we're kind of told to just manage on ourselves. So we can leave the house. We don't have to stay home if we have something going on, like the doctors and all. But it's not a lockdown. But maybe I should just call it a lockdown. So the last time, um, we kind of had this idea, and then this time it's a little different because everybody's so relaxed about things. Oh, here. Yes, please share what we can do with kids at home. I was going to, but we're going to talk about this next week. Yes. So last time, what we have done last time and what we're doing this time may be a little different, but we might have forgotten because we kind of relaxed a bit, and now we're back
Mhm.
to that emergency mode, but not really, because
Yeah.
we know that I'm still alive. I'm kind of relaxed. I think we're going to be okay, but not really. So maybe we can, yeah. And then Elang just message, here, I'm gonna put her here. Okay. But maybe Elang, so where she's from, it's our friend, she's from
Malaysia.
Malaysia. Yes. So if you have any, we will be happy to hear what you have done with your kids at home. But we will share what we have done. I mean, we did share last time, but I think we can refresh our memories.
Mhm.
Yes, because we're going through this again, but it's a little different, but it's the same in a way.
And there are
Yeah.
also some things that you can do on a subconscious level that doesn't take your focused conscious energy away. I wrote an article on this and it was published in quite a few newsprints and magazines. And what I wrote was that there are some things that you can do on a subconscious level. It doesn't take away from the conscious focus that we have. And one of the tips that I gave, there was 3 of them, was how to invoke your senses. One was your visual sense, and we touched on this tonight, which is about bringing nature and nature colors from the outside into the inside, allowing the blues and the greens, or maybe something from the outside to remind you about the outside. That will help you invoke peace and calm or serenity. The second one was the sense of smell. So it was about smelling and using things such as essential oil like lavender and
Mm.
that you can diffuse in the room or put on or around you. I have mine right here.
Mm.
And the third tip was using the sense of hearing, which was using music to play. You have yours. And then in the background, you can have your music, um, your soft sounds, maybe it's your nature sounds, but all of those things will invoke peace, calming, tranquility, especially, and remind you of the things that we want to be and do when we're not able to go outside. And then from that environment, you can start enhancing your creativity. So yes, we will start sharing here what we can do with kids at that time outside of those 3 tips, and things that we want to hear from you, what you are doing in those in-between times and working with the children. Absolutely.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes, so we're excited to connect to you again next week. And hopefully it's 30 minutes now.
Yeah, we're right on time.
Time flies, but we're on time today. Okay, so we will see you again next week at the same time from Japan and Montana. And have a great week.
Oh, I was just going to say, bring your thoughts, your ideas, your comments, what you were doing, and we'll bring what we're doing and what we're sharing as well. So thank you, everyone, for listening. We love you, and we will see you next week.
Mm-hmm. Okay, bye. Thank you.